What is going on, everybody? Been a diehard Pistons fan since '03, and I'm eager to see this team getting back to playing winning basketball. In today's video, we're going to go over all things Pistons Summer League. We're going to talk about the official lineup that was revealed yesterday for the full roster. We're going to talk about the schedule, and towards the end of the video, I'm going to speak on how I think this team will fare out in Vegas for the Summer League. Before we get on to it, if you all are new here, please subscribe. We just hit 1,000 subscribers 2 days ago, and we're already pushing up to well over 1,200. I think we might have hit that last night, so really appreciate all the recent support. So the Detroit Pistons were one of the last teams to go ahead and roll out their official lineup, and I suspect that was because they were still waiting on who was going to coach the team. Of course, there's been major coaching shakeups within our organization over the past couple weeks, getting rid of Monty Williams, hiring on JB Bickerstaff. But it was announced that Jarrett Jack will be back to coach the Summer League for the Pistons squad. This was a little bit shocking to me because I wasn't sure that Jarrett Jack was going to stay with the organization after Monty Williams has departed, but it looks like he will. Jarrett Jack did coach our Summer League team last year, so there is a level of familiarity with Pistons fans and Jarrett Jack with the Summer League. So overall, I think that's a pretty good thing. I really don't feel too bad about bringing Jarrett Jack back. I kind of assumed that JB Bickerstaff would be bringing in his whole entire staff with him or guys in his camp, but it sounds like a few people are sticking around from that side. Now, to actually speak on the official roster, we did make a video a while back kind of speculating who would be on that roster, and for the most part, it was pretty spot on. So, number one thing to note is Ausar Thompson will not be playing in the Summer League. It's pretty regular for second-year players to play in the Summer League, but of course, Ausar was dealing with those blood clots to end out the year. All reports from the beat writers and things like that say that Ausar is fine, he's on track, and should be good to go for the season, but it sounds like the Pistons organization would rather play it safe than sorry, and there's really no need to have Ausar out at the Summer League considering he has those issues. So realistically, the only player who was on the main Pistons roster last year who's going to be participating in the Summer League is Marcus Sasser. Now, Marcus Sasser is at the top of this list. Of course, he had a 40-point game last year at the Summer League. I'm expecting him to start. I'm expecting him to be a key contributor and will be one of, if not the most exciting player to watch at the Summer League. He has a style of play with the way that he can shake and bake that just makes for fun watches, especially in the Summer League where he's probably going to have the ultimate green light. Second guy on the roster here is Dennis Jenkins. He is an undrafted free agent, but definitely out of the guys you might not know on this list, probably one of the ones you want to watch for. Reason being is Dennis Jenkins was projected to get drafted this year in the draft, but he did go undrafted, and right away the Pistons signed him to a two-way contract. So you'll definitely be seeing Dennis Jenkins with the actual roster at points throughout the year. He played for St. John's. He's kind of a shifty guard, but a little bit size to him, so should be exciting to see how he can fare. Now, Ross Williams is a 5'10 guard who is coming out of Texas A&M and most recently played for a team overseas. So that'll be interesting. Definitely always fun to watch guys who are under 6-foot hoop, especially for a guy like myself, who is an undersized guard. Love all those types of players. Aaron Estrada is another guard out of Alabama. Javonte McCoy is a 6'5" guard who most recently played for the Austin Spurs in the G League. He's a little bit older for this roster. He's actually the oldest player on this roster, and he did play at Boston University for college. Cam Hankerson, he is also a 6'5" guard who played in the G League most recently, and that brings us on to Ron Holland. I'm sure if you guys have been tapped in with the Pistons this summer, you know a lot about Ron Holland at this point. Of course, we drafted him 5th overall in the draft. So super excited to see Ron Holland at the G League, or not in the G League. He was in the G League last year. Super excited to see him at the Summer League. He'll definitely be a key contributor. I would expect him to start all the games and probably get the most minutes, if not close to the most minutes. Now, Jalen Swanson is a forward who is also on the older side of things. He actually played for the Sacramento Kings most recently. I've seen a few highlight clips of him throwing down dunks and stuff like that, so he's a pretty athletic player. I don't really know a whole lot about his game as he's only played 1 year in the NBA and probably didn't get many minutes out there for the Kings, probably spent time in the G League, but I have seen some clips and he is very athletic. Sam Peake is one of our own G League players. He has most recently played for the Motor City Cruise, 6'7" shooter. Bobby Klintman, of course, is our second round pick from this year. He is a power forward, swing forward with some size, can shoot the ball a little bit, has a lot to his game. I would expect Bobby Klintman to also start at the Summer League and probably get a lot of minutes just like Sasser and Ron Holland, just considering that he'll be a part of the main roster. That should go without saying. Devin Higgs is a power forward who has most recently played for the Motor City Cruise as well. Jace Johnson, he's going to be a big that's coming out of Marquette, but he is actually one of the older players on this roster and has played most recently for the Motor City Cruise. He's actually about 26 years old, so yeah. And then Tolo Smith is another guy who went undrafted this past year. He's coming out of Mississippi State, another big, and Will Baker is another big as well, who is coming out of LSU. So overall, a pretty exciting roster. I'd say the most important guys to watch are going to be Ron Holland, Marcus Sasser, Bobby Klintman, and then maybe Dennis Jenkins as well. So to talk about the schedule that we have carved out for ourselves, our first game is going to be Saturday against Philadelphia 76ers. That's going to be on ESPN2 at 7 o'clock. So all of these games should be able for you all to watch pretty easily if you have cable. Philadelphia, of course, has Jared McCain. They've actually already started their Summer League games, playing in either the California Classic or the other Summer League. So they've actually had some games already. They look like a halfway decent team. Jared McCain's been getting a lot of burn, etc. Our second game is going to be on Monday at 6:30 p.m. That's going to be against Houston. Should be interesting to see how Reed Sheppard fares. Reed Sheppard, of course, was a player that a lot of Pistons fans were hoping we would draft, so it will be fun to watch him. And then the day after that, we'll be playing against the Bulls. Another player on the Bulls team that a lot of Pistons fans thought we might draft is going to be Matas Buzelis. Should be a really fun matchup. Ron Holland actually told Matas Buzelis that he's going to dunk on him at the Summer League. So if that's going to happen, that's going to be happening on July 16th on NBA TV. And then our last game for regular play at the Summer League is going to be against Tyler Kolek and the Knicks. That game will actually be on ESPN, just the regular ESPN. So definitely we'll have some eyes on that game, especially since it's going to be against the Knicks, who have a giant fan base. So it should be a fun matchup. After they get through these 4 games, they will then be put into knockout play, which is kind of like a Summer League playoffs, things like that. So there should be some games after this as well, as long as we keep winning. Overall, we're probably looking at somewhere between 5 or 6 games for our team out of the G League, or Summer League. I don't know why I keep saying that. I guess the league gets me confused. But yeah, either way, that's pretty much it for the Summer League coming up here. Should be a fun time. I'm a big fan of the Summer League. I just love to watch hoops, and I think that this time of the summer, a lot of us are kind of itching to see our team back out on the floor. Of course, we won't have our full roster out there, but there will be quite a few young players out there playing for us that will be a part of our regular season roster and potentially getting some serious burn when the regular season comes around. Appreciate you all watching. We'll be back soon.